Get comfortable. So once you find that space, once you find that seat, close the eyes. Feel your breath. Start to take that deep, full breath in and that strong, smooth breath out. And just like you were pulsing, pumping, that inner space, that heart center, that resonance within you. Pulse and pump, palpate that breath. And just create this sense of moving energy within you, internally bringing it in, externally sending it back out. If you're finding yourself distracted with mental chatter, replace it with the words, be here now, now be here. Deep, full in-breath. Smooth, steady out-breath. And as you begin to notice that resonance, as you begin to notice any resistance within you, bring yourself back to that intention for joining this program. Bring yourself to that thing that you wrote down that was a challenge in your life. Keep on breathing. Keep on filling and emptying. But hold that in your awareness. There might be thoughts attached to it. There might be mental ideas attached to it. Let those float around. Let those flow along with the breath. But see if you can hold that image. See if you can hold that sensation that's around the thing within you. And as you perceive that sensation, as you perceive that holding within you of what's around that thing, with your breath, with that full inhalation and exhalation, invite in what the patterns are, what the connections are, what the lineage is for that thing in your life. And as you breathe, those things may arise, they may not arise. But just continue to breathe. Continue that full inhalation, full exhalation. Bringing in those patterns. Bringing in those connections. Bringing in that programming. Observing all the ways it's entangled itself around you. Breathing into those bonds. And letting them go. Clearing them out. Cutting them off. See if you can get that sensation into transformation back to your sensation of authenticity. Back to your sensation of presence. Keep on bringing yourself back. If you get distracted, if you get off track, come back to holding that space with that thing, sensing the patterns, transforming to authenticity. How would you like that thing to be now? Breathe that in and out of you. Feel it and sense it and fill yourself with the feeling and the sensation of it. Take a few more deep breaths in and deep breaths out there. Breathing through that. Creating that quality within. Connecting to that quality within. And then coming back out. Open the eyes. It's funny because like this thing kicked on and like the little fan, right? And I felt like I'm like, as soon as I started talking and I'm like, go into it, all of a sudden the like fan kicks on. Like, and it's that same sort of sensation within, right? Is that like, you're meditating, you're in there, you're getting good, and then all of a sudden I tell you to bring this thing up, right? And all this stuff starts coming up. Right? And it's like that fan kicking on, it gets this higher level, it gets more heated in there. And it's really, can I stay with that? Can I be with that? Can I observe it? And can I start to see the patterns of where that's coming from and how it's taking place. And just by being with it, just by observing those patterns and breathing back into it and being okay with it, right? It'll start to change. It'll start to shift and it'll start to transform. So did that work?
So, okay, quick question.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever thing that everybody brought up, are you trying to figure out how you deal with
Oh, you're solving it.
yourself? Okay.
No, you're thinking about solving it, right?
Well,
So this is a great question.
yeah.
It's awesome, right? So Manish asked, like, when I bring that thing up, am I thinking about how to deal with it? Am I trying to figure out how to deal with it? No. No. I really, it's like
Maybe actually the better way of
be,
saying it is I was visualizing how it would be if I were perhaps more authentic.
that's a great thing to do. Yeah. So she flipped it and she said, am I visualizing how it would be if I was more authentic? Absolutely. And you might not even be visualizing it, right? You might just be breathing in such a way that as you breathe into that thing and as you hold it in your awareness and your attention and you appreciate it for what it is, what might be revealed to you within is how that could be more authentic. And so it's subtle, but it's also gross, right? Meaning that there's a subtle difference there, but there's a huge difference there between me breathing and being like, okay, this guy sucks at work. Okay, I'm gonna treat him better. Okay, and that feels better. I'm gonna treat him better. I'm gonna buy him brownies. I'm gonna right and like there's a difference between that and like really being there, breathing, sensing, and then being like, oh shit, like he's just feeling like he doesn't have enough support from the team. And so he's getting really upset when we don't communicate with him, right? And it's like, I wasn't thinking about that. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, that wasn't like but when I got more in tune with my emotion and with energy, what I noticed was that. And it's a huge difference, but it's of monumental importance. And that's why I said, like, this isn't psychotherapy, right? This isn't like mentally hashing through things to try and see what the connections are so we can make a behavioral change, right? That's not what it's about. And that's not the approach I take. Because I think it's effective to a point, but I think it's not getting at the root, or it's not getting as authentically to the piece of what we're experiencing that we could. So yeah, great question. What else? Hmm? Yeah. And I mean, like, you don't have to do this, right? What I want you to do is look for where these things are arising in your life and then breathing with them. And there's been things I've been breathing with for years that haven't gone away, right? It's like, and I don't know what those are. Like, they shift and they transform and they get better and they still arise and then they come out all crooked. Like, all I have to do is go visit my parents and I have a treasure trove of things to work with for the next 6 years. But so it's like they're always changing and shifting and developing, and sometimes they're subtle, sometimes they're obvious, but what my practice becomes is that, every day when I'm doing my sitting, I'm noticing what arose that was not in alignment, that was not authentic, and I'm working with that. And that's our bread, right? That's our bread and butter. That's what we're going to get to work with. I'm not giving you some Upanishads, you know, or Yoga Sutras to study and recite until they get. I want this to come from your life. I want these to be your things that you're working with and that you're transforming, because it's your journey. It's your self and your freedom that we're after. And so it's going to come out of your experience. So
are you saying when you react to something, you're not being authentic?
yeah. So you and what I would say is this is the difference. Like, reaction is like, see you, Grace. So the question was, when Holly asked if you react to something, are you being inauthentic? And I said yes, like absolutely. And there's like I said, there's a subtle quality, but it's actually huge, right? In that when I react, there's a sense to it that is very combative in a way, or it's sort of ignorant in a way. Whereas when I respond,
It's kind of like the default thing that you go into.
it's a program pattern,
Right.
right? It could be a program pattern, yeah. Not to say that you can't use that, right? Because you can use those things in a way. You can use those things in a way that is authentic, right? Like I said, I can put up boundaries, right? I can tell people that I am no longer going to talk to them, right? I can quit my job, right? I can leave my employment, but it's not a reaction, right? I can get a divorce, right? But it's not a reaction. I can break off a relationship. I can get into a relationship, but it's not a reaction, right? It's coming from a different place. So, yeah. All right. Is that it? We're done?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you next week.